Hello, I'm Dr. Terry James Gingrass, and this is Dr. G's ADHD Chat show trying to make the world safe for ADHDers. Today, I want to talk about parental self care through the holidays. Uh, I told you before, I'm the father of a couple of ADHD kids, and I have married into a whole family of ADHDers, and I'm re-looking at my own family, and I think I've got a few in there as well. So I have had both the experience and of treating ADHD families as a psychologist, but I've also experienced growing up with it and being married to it and all those other things you can do when you're sort of a neurotypical. I used to joke that I'm neurotypical, but I'm impatient. Anyway, I started out doing this show, planning this show, and it was initially going to be kind of how to take care of your child through the holiday season, and then I started doing more and more, and I thought, like, wait a minute, this is really turning into parental self-care. So as an ADHD parent, you have got both the stress everybody goes through with the holiday season, all the extra things you got to do, the gifts you got to buy, the parties you got to go to, the Christmas cards you've got to send, all that stuff. Plus, you have the ADHD child or children to take care of. And like parents frequently just forget to take care of themselves, and they don't realize that that's kind of the most important thing. Because if you're not doing right, if you're not feeling good, if you're not happy with yourself, if you're overstressed, burned out, whatever, you're not going to be able to handle your ADHD child very well, because that takes a lot of energy and a lot of restraint and all the rest of it. So, and I've been teaching behavioral medicine or stress management or self-care kinds of things for a long time. And I just thought I'd add some of the things that you need to do to survive the holiday season reasonably healthy and reasonably happy about things. Okay, now I'm going to give you a quick definition of stress. Stress is a physiological response to a perceived demand. Okay, unnecessarily scientific probably, but basically what it's saying is that if your brain is telling you this is something you've got to take care of, your body responds to that. You get jacked up basically. Gotta do this, gotta do that. What in England they call an attack of the bustle. Well, the problem is you're sustaining an attack of the bustle for like at least 12 days of Christmas and probably longer than that. The idea is that when you're seeing all this stuff that you got to do, plus you got to take care of the kid, plus it can get you a little wired up. But there are some things just basic stuff that you're a human being, you have to take care of yourself. First one is sleep. We don't emphasize that a lot. Well, I mean, I've been around the world for a long time, and I have never had a doctor ask me how I sleep. It's like, oh, okay. But that's one of the most important things about, uh, stress tolerance, I guess I will call it, is that you have to, if you're going to take care of other people and you're going to try to survive and be healthy and not have a massive physical breakdown at the end of the holiday season, uh, you need to get enough sleep. And I know there are some people running around who say, "Oh, I'm fine on 4 hours of sleep. I don't need any more than that." That's well, the research does not support that. We need 7 to 8 hours of sleep, nice, deep, restful sleep before we uh, can say that we're doing everything we can do rest-wise to stay healthy and not let stress get to us. I mean, when it gets chronic, it's basically we go to burnout, which is a whole harder thing to work with. So you need to get 7 or 8 hours of sleep a night. Uh, you need to make sure that your habits, the way get ready for bed and all that stuff, are not jacking you up. Okay, watching TV or kicking the TV off and then going to bed, and it's like you're still chasing the bad guys on Blue Bloods or something. It's you need to give yourself a little license, okay? And the harder time you have with sleep, the more important it is to control all the factors you can control. So when you get ready to go to sleep, or you're thinking about it, an hour before that, ideally, okay? I'm not going to say I do this myself all the time, but I do it sometimes. Just the uh, turn off the TV and give yourself a little quiet meditation time. Take a nap if you can, seriously, beforehand. But basically, just have a little time to just think. Uh, I mean, you can read a book if think that's the thinking thing is a little bit much for you. But anyway, try to take some time away from the screen because that has something about the light in the screen will tend to make you want to stay awake. Okay, and have a nice, easy routine. Don't scramble. No, I only got a minute and 30 seconds to brush my teeth and wash my face and change into my sleep attire and all that stuff. Just nice. So it's a nice, slow rhythm. Maybe do a little reading. Not essential, but you can. Uh, but just make it a routine. Okay, and don't take a list to bed with you. Although I do recommend having a bedside tablet or something where you can write down the great ideas when they hit you, whenever they do. But just getting enough sleep is sacred. Just that's the most important thing you can do to really maintain yourself. The other thing is your diet. I mean, and I don't, there's so much hoo-ha about diet that it's really hard to tell what the truth really is. I mean, I'm from the generation where we were forbidden to eat eggs because they would raise our cholesterol and then find out, oh, no, that's not. We were also told that margarine was better for you than butter. Well, that's another one that they didn't know what they were talking about. So do what you think is right as far as diet, but just, understand there are certain things that have stimulants in them. Most all soft drinks and a lot of things you wouldn't think would have caffeine actually do have caffeine. So you need to keep track of that of your caffeine intake and not accidentally jack yourself up right before you're trying to go to bed. And some people are way more sensitive to stimulants than myself. I can have an espresso after dinner and go right to sleep a couple of hours later. My wife, not so much. She has caffeine after 5 o'clock p.m. That is, and she's racing around. So know your body, know yourself, and don't take on a load of stimulants. Also, watch the sugar. I mean, you know, in spite of my last name being French, my ethnicity is mostly Scotch Irish, and I have the Scottish sweet tooth like crazy. All those sweet things and chocolate and all that good stuff. But I don't do a lot of that before I go to bed, because the hypoglycemic response, that's just a fancy way of saying you got a lot of your blood sugar just going way up. Your blood sugar, that'll keep you jittery. That'll make it very, very hard to go to sleep. So just, that's enough. And then, there are certain foods that are more likely to help you go to sleep, like turkey is famous for its tryptophan, everybody takes a nap in the middle of the second football game on Thanksgiving. The same idea is, there are certain foods that you can eat that'll slow you down a little bit. The other thing is exercise. Okay. This I'm not suggesting that this is the time you start training for your first marathon or anything, but get your body moving. It's important for everything. You won't age well if you don't have a regular exercise program. And it doesn't have to be, where you have a special uniform and special shoes you've got to wear. You know, a, a good walk is as important or as good an exercise as any. It's matter of fact, it's probably better than most. Uh, the There are things that will get you super fit faster, but walking is really good for you. It's good for your body. It's also good for your mind. It's relatively low impact, so it doesn't cause a lot of injuries. I am a former marathon runner who has two artificial hips, so I really recommend lighter exercise, low stress. Right now, I'm into rowing, which is a fantastic exercise, and it uses about 84 to 87%, depending on who you're reading, percent of your body muscle mass gets exercise with that, and it's low impact. So anyway, have some regular routine that you use, and it's also a great way to get your mind a little bit more relaxed. You know, if you're feeling down, exercise jacks you up a little bit, gives you a little more energy, increases your mood. If you're feeling too stressed, exercise reduces that. It's the great regulator. It works in both directions. And when I first started out in the performance enhancement business, it was verboten to say meditation because that was, people got facial tics. Meditation, not Eastern current, I'm not gonna, that kind of thing. Nowadays, it's very much more acceptable to say meditation. So anyway, meditation, relaxation training, self-hypnosis, biofeedback, whatever you want to do. But it's important to have something that you can do, for like 4 or 5 minutes and just slow everything down just a little bit. It's real important. It makes you make better decisions if you're more calm and relaxed, and you will have a much more profitable in the sense that you'll achieve what you want to out of the holiday season. And and contrary to what many people think, you don't have to just sit quietly and not think, because that's impossible. Even if you're not ADHD, it's impossible to sit still and not think. It's so figure out a little bit about yourself, a little bit of how your brain works, and what the best uh, meditation technique for you is. Some people are more visual than others, and so if they could sit there and build pictures of beautiful beaches and warm sand and sun and all that stuff, and add all the sensations into that kind of a visualization. There's the focus stuff, breathing focus. Just pay attention to your breathing. You know, nice slow exhalation. Breathing is central to almost everything we do. Athletes learn how to coordinate their performance with their breathing. Uh, People who lift weights, especially, have to coordinate their breathing with their uh, performance. During when you're doing the push part of the exercise, that's the time to exhale. You inhale when you're getting ready, and then you exhale when you're pushing the bar or whatever. Okay, so meditation is important. Um, there are tons of different programs out there in the world. The problem is that none of them are designed specifically for you. When I used to do a lot of hypnosis, we designed programs for each individual person. The thing you do when you get a generic relaxation tape or meditation tape is that they don't know you. They're going to the general population, and you may not even be aware of it, but you have certain word choices you use, certain things that make you cringe, certain maybe fears. We all have a fear of something potentially dangerous, and you may have one specific one. Uh, so you need to. It's helpful if you can get it a little more personalized than that, or at least that you know what's good for you and what's not so good for you. Okay, and then we have other ways of kind of calming down music. Okay, now most of us start playing Christmas music at this time of year, and that's cool. Um, there are a lot of things in music that will help you relax. I mean, there's certain kinds of music, but there are also certain kinds of music that'll get you all jacked up. Like I personally prefer all the traditional Christmas songs sung by mostly by singers that are dead. So I don't know. I'm talking Andy Williams and Frank Sinatra and Bing Crosby, even Gene Autry. Those people, you know what you're getting with those. You get some of the modern singers. Let's just put it that way. Uh, uh, and I think I grew up when we had the best music, but what we've got now is I don't enjoy it as much. But the thing is, if you listen to something that's relatively soothing, it doesn't mean it's got to be all slow, but that it's not the music. Music does two things: it either excites you or it calms you, and you want to be calm sometimes. Okay, so those are the big things that you need to be thinking about doing for yourself to get yourself calmed down. Because one of the things we don't talk about very much when we're talking about parenting, it's us all do this and your kid will do that and da 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 da. But you have to take care of yourself so that you can meet your child. I know ADHD kids are a little more stressful than a neurotypical child. They're also, fortunately, a lot more creative, a lot more fun, have better senses of humor, and are way more empathetic than, uh, than a lot of neurotypical kids. I'm not going to say they're better than all those, but they are more sensitive. In my own family, my ADHD kids are the one that we have the most contact with. Uh, the neurotypical ones you have to chase down a little bit more, but uh, that's those are the things you need to be doing. And it's also helpful if you can keep the general routines for the whole family going in the same way that they do for the rest of the year. I know that's not going to happen exactly, but try to keep it as much the same routine as before. And it's helpful. I mean, and I am as far from obsessive compulsive as you can get. Maybe I'm a compulsive reader, but that's it. I don't have to have a plan for every hour of every day, but you need to have a general plan for how you're going to would make it through the holiday season. I mean, holidays are stressful. You've got gifts to buy, you've got gifts to send, you've got parties that you have to attend, and some parties that you really want to attend, uh, and there are strange foods all over the place, hors d'oeuvres you've never seen before, s- sweet things that you have never imagined in your wildest dreams, and a lot of, oh, of course, there's that. I'd be remiss not mentioning alcohol. You've got to watch that because it's real easy, especially when there's these sweetie kind of drinks that you can't really tell it's got a lot of alcohol in them. You need to take care of yourself. I mean, the old rules about, well, it used to be they keep changing the rules is the unfortunate thing, but the latest is 2 drinks a day for men, 1 drink a day for women. Uh, just because of smaller body types usually. So um, that's one of those. other areas that you need to look out for. It's easy to have stuff sneak up on you, and especially nowadays when every police officer in the world will be out on the roads the closer we get to Christmas. And then, of course, there's New Year's Eve, my Lord. Uh, but so you need to watch your consumption of alcohol, and one more won't hurt. Now that'll get you into trouble. Let's just say that. So just control that stuff. You've got all these things you can do that control that help with you. It's helpful if you've got at least a loose plan. No, I mean, you I don't know how many people out there have a collection of planners, but I certainly do. I mean, it's like, I'm not going to fill this out every day. This is too much crap. I don't need all this. I just need a general notion of what I'm going to get done today and maybe what my appointments are, but I don't need to know what I'm doing every minute of the day. That is wasting my time and energy, and it's making it more stressful because now I got another demand I got to meet. So I don't pay much attention. I use what's called a day timer. I've been using them for, oh God, 40 years or 45 years, I guess. They're not real complicated, but they are pretty complete, so you can write little notes in one of your books and keep track of where you are and all that stuff. And I used to depend a lot on my office appointments calendar, but now I carry everything with me. But I highly recommend it. It's it's not going to blow you away with a cute cover or any of that stuff. Although you can get a nice leather cover, which I have. I've had the same one for about 30 years, so they last pretty well. But this is not an ad for Daytimer, but it's one of those that's kind of neutral. You can use it and make it as complicated as you want or as easy as you want, and I like that control. The important thing, well, there are a lot of important things, is if you take care of yourself, it's easier for you to take care and respond to your ADHDers, and be more observant. If you're not worried about, oh, I got 3 o'clock, I got to get to the post office, I got, if you're not doing that in your head all the time, you got more attention available to say, oh, he's not looking happy, or he just had a temper tantrum, or you can keep ahead of those. And that's, a lot of what parenting an ADHD child is about, is anticipation, preparation, and observation. Ooh, I like that. Wish I'd written it down. But you've got to, be aware pretty much all the time, and make sure you know what triggers him or her, and how you're going to respond to it, hopefully calmly, and you will be able to respond better if you take care of yourself. So that's my number one message for today, is to take care of yourself, because you can't take care of anybody else if you're not taking care of yourself. Okay, and I will see you in about a week again, and write to me, email me, whatever you need to do. Let me know if you've got anything you'd like me to cover. Let me know if you would like to have me cover a topic that I haven't covered yet, or that you would like a little more about something I already covered. Okay, so we will see you again. My website is terrygingrassphd.com. You can sign up for Calendly, kind of to use that to set up a kind of a screening appointment where we just kind of talk with each other and figure out if we can work together and that sort of thing. And if nothing else, you get about a half hour with me, and I might be able to identify some things that you hadn't thought about. Anyway, that's that's there. I also have a newsletter, and that's going pretty well, actually. I've only been doing it for about 2 months now, but it's different topics from the ones I cover here. So, okay, we will catch you next time, and meantime, let's keep trying to make the world safer for ADHDers.